Around the world, it's Battle Nights! Welcome to Poke Battle Network. I am SosaFlo, and we have Battle Nights tonight, a main event. Poke Battle Network. I have no idea why I said Poke Battle Network. We're not battling. We have Pallet Town PVP versus BTW. I am joined on the table today by a wonderful slew of cast members. I have KyleThrows to my left representing BTW. How you doing today, KyleThrows?
Yeah, I'm doing great. So it's a phenomenal night to watch some heated Pokemon Go community battles. And as a BTW network streamer, I might be a little biased, but we'll see what happens. Proud to be here.
We're happy to have you and give us some of that BTW insight that some of us might not know about. Coming back again to analyze amazing stuff and give us the best dad jokes and why he says them out is ShadowPrime from RoundTableChat. How you doing today, ShadowPrime?
You know what? We got a lot of snow here in Denver, Colorado, but I'm excited to get nice and warm with these heated battles, like you said, Kyle. So I'm excited for it.
Awesome. I'm excited too. And they're going to be hot, just like that fish grilling and turning nice and gold with the crown. And coming back is Mr. FishOnAHeater. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm keen to get into this. Seeing some of my favorite battlers take on some of my other favorite battlers and casting with other favorite battlers. It's all just my favorite people all in one place.
I'm so excited of the hype you gentlemen are bringing. We have two amazing communities that are battling tonight. These two communities have been juggernauts at providing content for battlers over the many seasons. Pallet Town PVP, which was, I believe, founded by the gentleman down below, Mr. FishOnAHeater. Is this true, Mr. FishOnAHeater? You Pallet Town PVP co-founder?
Yeah, look, I'm here to confirm the rumors. It is true. I was the original founder of the place, but look, I don't like to bring that up too much because I've been on a mission to not let it be seen as my community. Like, it is the people's community. Like, it's I want to give it over to the people as much as possible. I want to make them feel empowered. I want to give them all spaces where they can feel like they can make their own things, run their own projects, create their own communities as well. So I was the original founder, but it is not my community. It's everyone's.
It has been wonderful to watch it grow with many of the content creators that you have shown on the channel, with everybody, the meta guides and all that stuff. So I appreciate you representing and giving us the insight on Pallet Town PvP and creating this content so that battlers have out there. And representing, as you said earlier, Kyle, you're representing BTW. Now, I know you're not a founder or anything, but you're part of the community. What can you tell us about this amazing battling community out there and all of these battles we're about to see tonight?
Yeah, so similarly to what Fish said, the voices that you'll hear weekly on the Beginner to Winner PvP podcast are Wildcat Dad, Dino, Astro Zombie, and then the executive producer Matt Breaker. But like he said, it branches far beyond that with a community that has settled under the roof of BTW, and it's just a great place to be. I'm happy to represent it between the special tournaments and charity events that those guys have helped bring to the community. It's just a great place to be, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how these two groups face off tonight.
Oh, I'm so excited. You guys have brought so much hype onto these groups. We are so excited to get into their battling minds and what they thought about. And our first dip into that is the bands, as we get to see the first set of bands. So if you haven't come through Battle Nights before, each team selects 5 bands, and then the total of 10 bands will be given to both teams. And then in those teams, they will have to draft within themselves. So no same Pokemon can be on the same team or same lineup there. So it is very fun to watch. We have 10 straight bands here, no overlapping. It's wonderful. Gentlemen, what do you see that catches your eye on the bands?
What do you think, Fish?
JT, what do you see here first? Oh, Fish. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So I was noticing with some of the Pallet Town bands, a lot of those mons are really, really polarizing. So there's, I think they might have been targeting some of that rock, paper, scissors that we see a lot in Open Great League. So Toxapex, Galarian, Stunfisk, and Bastiodon are just mons that If you beat them hard. If you lose to them, you lose to them just as hard. So that should make for a little bit more openness, bit more fun, really.
Yeah.
And just to kind of piggyback on that, like those Bastiodon, the Lickitung, and the Azumarill, and even Toxapex too. Those Pokemon are just like Taco Bell dollar menu level beefy. Like those things are thick. So it's nice to be able to kind of see, like, get rid of those beef monsters and see what else they can, or what else they're bringing with them. So
I'm going to take note on this again, that they banned those metas. You talked about beef, but the meta is very tanky right now, and those tank Pokemon give battlers a lot of safe swap options, a lot of switch clock back in to, like, soak up energy, and a lot of those safe swappers, a lot of those tanks that soak up are gone. Those Del Tacos or those Taco Bell late night menus are off the table. They got to go healthy, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because we're going to jump right into the first round of battles here. We've talked a little bit too much already. We're here for battle night, not analysts talk about beef tacos and Bastiodons. Is there anything else, though, that catches your eye? Because a lot of these look like real meta Pokemon. Nothing really is like ooh, I'm very excited to see that off the table. This is good. Like, anything you're just good with?
I wanna just mention that Mew. I think that just takes a lot of unpredictability out of the equation.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
pretty much it. That's why you would ban Mew, if anything, right?
Oh,
Right.
for sure. It makes me wonder if maybe there's a Hypno lurking in the night somewhere, because we know how versatile that moveset can be as well.
Yeah, Pokemon with versatile movesets have been popping up and been really good. Hisuian Quillfish being another one, has a lot of different movesets as well. Not as wide range as Mew, but crazy as well. So we'll see what the battlers bring out as the bans are set, the lineups are locked, and we are going to go into the arena with me and FishOnAHeater, and the analysts, Kyle and JT ShadowPrime, will be in the desk after we finish up with the first matchup. So we'll see you around there. Fish, let's go into the arena, my friend. Woohoo! We are in here. We are ready to go. We got round one. It's going to start soon, about 12 seconds. I see Stunfisk. I see Lilybear. Lilybear versus Wildcat Dad. What do you have to say about that? You feel excited about this matchup, Fish?
Yeah, just trying to work out what's going on with these teams. The Stunfisk has a decent amount of play against a lot of that line, and I mean this is where Stunfisk would do pretty well, but also the Samurott is doing just as well with those Hydro Cannons, so those Dragon Tails are going to do as much work as they possibly can between those Hydro Cannons, but they are just pumping out so fast. It's just going to put so much pressure on that Steelix to start off.
Yeah, already taking a shield. The Fury Cutter not really doing anything to the Steelix, as you noticed. Like you said, the Dragon Tails are chunking away. Now, with this Psychic Fang boost, is it going to be Psychic Fang or will it be Crunch? It will be Crunch going for it. I like the option here of the Steelix. I think it got caught. Oh, but the catch! Whoa. Lilybear makes the catch.
Yeah, and that was a Trevenant, if I see that correctly. No, sorry, not Trevenant. The Tentacruel. Yeah, that's what that T word was. So out comes the Deoxys in response. Now, both of these moves are going to be super effective against the Tentacruel. The Psycho Boost, obviously quicker, more efficient, but has the disadvantage of debuffing your attack 2 stages. So probably going to want to default towards that Thunderbolt, especially since I believe Lilybear is 1 shield up right now. So Wildcat is going to be less likely to shield this.
It is Lilybear then Wildcat, both equal on shields. It is Lilybear across. We don't have Lilybear's footage. We are looking at the footage of Wildcat, and it is the counter on the Steelix, and that is really tough here. You've got counters and Hydro Cannons coming off the Steelix. It isn't great. The Crunch will come through and be super effective, and it will take out the Deoxys. I thought it might live with 1 HP in a dream, but it off the table now. I feel the Samurott will come back, as it will be a better move to get to the Hydro Cannons, because that Fury Cutter, again, just eating up tons of energy. Lilybear tries to make another swap, and it is the Jump Pump with Energy Ball and Seed Bomb. This is not the Fairy Wind. Oh my god, Fish, what's happening?
I will tell you exactly what's happening. So I have the inside information on this. This is pre-Community Day Jumpluff that she forgot that she had. So this is the wrong Jumpluff that she has brought in, and now she's just got to deal with it. She can't use her actual Jumpluff for the next battle. She has to just use this pre-Comday Bullet Seed, Aerial Ace, and Energy Ball Jumpluff against this Ice-type Pokemon, which is just going to be ridiculously hard for this Jumpluff to overcome. You can see this Avalanche is going to wipe out this Jumpluff now, and now it's just up to that Steelix against monumental odds in the Frostlass and the Samurott.
Oh my goodness, that is just so unfortunate. You grab your Jumpluff, you call your Pokemon, but you forget to check the moveset, and it hurts a lot. Because now Jumpluff might be handcuffed to not coming out anymore. But the Steelix gets the move. The Hydro Cannon is coming and taking a no-shield Steelix back to its Pokeball. Great battles there by Wildcat Dad 17 as Lilybear sends that Steelix lead back to the Pokeball. What do you think the adjustment will be for Miss Lilybear there, Mr. Fish?
Okay, so yeah, so that team composition was really rough for Lilybear. That was hard counted pretty much all the way through. The Hydro Cannons, the Thunderbolts, the Avalanches all doing super effective damage. So I mean, the team... Oh, I mean, this is a fantastic adjustment. That Araquanid is going to do fantastic against the Samurott. So it's going to stay in for now. Not panic, because the Megahorn is unresisted. Now, throwing the Hydro Cannon bait first, expecting a shield from the Araquanid. If she doesn't shield, then this is going to be excellent for her. And she doesn't. Wow. This is a great start for Lilybear.
Araquanid is back in action, showing us why it's so tanky and why it's so good. The bug bites come through, the bubble beams gonna put a little debuff onto this Samurott, and those Fury Cutters aren't gonna do a thing. Now going straight for the Mega Horn, this will be effective. Will Lilybear shield the proper move? No. Doesn't really do much. That debuff actually did a great job at taking that Mega Horn's energy down. Now the Araquanid is in the red, and it's throwing off another bubble beam. If not, oh yeah, it should be the bubble beam. There it is.
Yeah, that bubble beam. Did that Samurott live? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that was so close. Almost getting to that Mega Horn. That would have been disaster for Lilybear. So now the Frostlass comes out, and look, the bug bites are resisted on the Frostlass. The Powder Snows are resisted on the Araquanid. So if either wants to try and, farm a bit of energy on the other, then that's going to be a tough task. You can see Wildcat is not trying to go for it, just throwing that Avalanche, getting this done with, so we can finally see what the next Pokemon is on Lilybear's side. Yeah,
the object of the Araquanid was just debuff that Frostlass to do nothing. An immediate swaps, and it's a Thunder Shock stun fish. That is interesting play. The Thunder Shock throwing off the discharge in the Mud Bomb. We'll see what it goes for here. Great call to bring in the Fisk after seeing DD and Steelix in that last matchup.
Yeah, so DD has this problem of all its moves being resisted. Well, no, sorry, the Psycho Boost is not resisted. I was thinking of the Galarian Stunfisk where all its moves are resisted or double resisted, but the Deoxys does have that one weapon that it can use in the Psycho Boost, and Wildcat is going for that now. As we said before, this does result in a bit of a debuff to the Deoxys, and you can see that Psycho Boost did a little bit less than half of the remaining health to the the Stunfisk, which means that this next one is going to come in and is not going to KO the Stunfisk either. So Lilybear now going to throw that next move, which should get the Deoxys either close to fainting or actually get the faint. And the discharge is just almost enough. Sorry, that Deoxys is just conscious with the barest amount of HP. Let's see if that comes into play.
That is what you don't want to see as a Toxicroak. The matchup left with a ghost Pokemon, as now it's all uphill on the Toxicroak, and Frostlass with energy really does put the hurt onto everything. And here you go, the Toxicroak throwing off the moves. Frostlass had the energy. Both battlers had 2 shields. It's going to come down to CAP here. You get the Avalanche going off right off the bat, and that will probably take the last shield from the Toxicroak.
Now, the Toxicroak counters do add up against the Ghost Ice type that is only single resisted, but the Avalanche is probably going to get there first. You'd think that
Watch that timer.
Will lose
Watch
that race.
timer, my friend.
The
You can
timer
see
is
it coming. That
almost
switch
up.
timer gonna. Oh, thinking that a switch timer could come up, right? Keeping it in the back, maybe using that third Pokemon as a shield, because Lilybear still has the Fisk in the back, ready to go. Is their energy locked and loaded? No, but the Deoxys is gonna give the energy to Lilybear, which could easily bring off the Mud Bomb. Oh no! When you give your opponent the energy to throw the charge move, that's gotta hurt Wildcat, and Lilybear gets her team of points.
Yeah, that was a bit of a misplay by Wildcat. I'm sorry, Wildcat. I know he's in chat and I know he's watching this. I think I'm sure he'll be willing to admit, yeah, I gave her the win con there, giving Lilybear the extra energy she needed to take out that last Pokemon. If he had just farmed down with the Frostlass, that would have done. Even if it didn't, even if it got to the discharge or the Mud Bomb that would KO the Frostlass, then Deoxys could have come back in and finished the job there. Unfortunately, not the case. 1-1. And it is, whoa, and it's back to being in Wildcat's favor.
Air Slash Mandibuzz has to get off the mat immediately, and we see the Steelix into Deoxys. Now again, Deoxys doesn't really have any charge moves like you were saying with the G-Fisk, neither on the Steel Fix. The only thing that Deoxys is worried about is the counter here that's really good against the Steelix. But the thing is that if he goes for the Psycho Boost, it would lose moves on the counter, so he can't go for that Psycho Boost. He's gonna go for the Thunderbolt. Wildcat Dad is gonna throw the energy. I don't think Lilybear shields this, right? Shields Thunderbolt.
Oh.
And then the counter comes through before the crunch comes off. So this is not debuff. Will the crunch get the debuff? That'll only help out WinCon for no debuff. The Dragon Tail's still doing damage, but not as hard as those counters, man. And here comes another charge move from Wildcat Dad.
So the Psycho Boost, I still don't think that's going to be enough. That Steelix is just left, but now we have a second Psycho Boost, and Wildcat is happy to just go back to back here. Not going to mess around. Obviously, not going to want to take very much more damage from the Steelix, so just getting it out of there, maintaining switch advantage, which is important as well. But both of his Pokemon in the back will counter the Toxicroak quite nicely. We will have to see what the last Pokemon is. Switching into the Frostlass now rather than sticking to that Mandibuzz as well, so that's probably an indication of what Wildcat expects to see in the back.
I am confused to what Wildcat expects to see back. Oh, but we do have video corrupt and damage going on here. Oh no! The Dedennes got into the arena. Quick, someone call the maintenance. We need to get a look at that. Hold on.
Did Lance come through and take out all those Voltorb that were powering the station?
No, they didn't. We're going to go take that out. We're going to go take care of that right now. We're going to kick it back to the analyst desk. But I am being told that Wildcat Dad is the winner of that matchup. As you saw there with the Frostlass and the Mandibuzz there against the Toxicroak and whatever was in the back. But we're going to go worry about this Voltorb Dedenne problem in the arena. Analyst, what did you see?
Oh man, I love those battles like that just kind of that kick off like that, and immediately it was just like, all right, we're in the thick of it. I love those kind of battles. Is there any Pokemon that were jumping out at you, Kyle?
Well, from the beginning, when I saw the lineups, JT, I couldn't help but notice how much play Wildcat's Frostlass had, and he did in fact bring it all 3 games. But I cannot say enough about the Game 2 adjustment that Lilybear made, bringing the Araquanid in the lead. In the event that Wildcat brought the same line as Game 1, it can break up that Samurai defense Deoxys core, and that's exactly what it did. Now that match was still close, but the failed catch by Wildcat sealed the deal for her. And JT, I was left on a cliffhanger there because just before the Game 3 video cut out, I saw a dynamic punch coming from the Toxicroak to land on the Frostlass. I would have loved to have seen the result of that.
Exactly. And especially especially since the move update, a Pokemon that I'm finding is getting nearer and dearer to my heart is that Steelix with those psychic things. So I was loving that Steelix out there. Also, the Samurott was making an appearance, coming out to play, and it was just really good to see some of this Pokemon that you don't typically see in Great League. So I just that makes my heart happy.
For sure. Steelix has definitely been a benefactor of the recent move updates. It is a beast in Ultra League.
Absolutely. All right, so let's take a look at the next team. Congratulations to Wildcat for taking the W on that one, and congrats to Lily Bear for a great battle. All right, so it looks like we got Astro Zombie 954, and then we got Timarap. Any Pokemon that's jumping out at you on this one?
Well, so knowing Astro like I do, being a dedicated listener of the BTW podcast, the Scrafty jumps off the screen. Astro loves his Scrafty. I could have bet every possession that I have that Scrafty would have shown up in his lineup, and it definitely did. I will say, though, Tima has a very interesting core breaker in the Dedennes. So dealing out super effective damage against the Talonflame and the Dugong and the awful play rough for Scrafty. So I'm going to be interested to see how much Tima relies on that mind. What about you, JT?
Absolutely. I'm excited to see Victini hopefully come out to play. I love that little thing, especially once again after those move updates. And the Dedennes, especially since they got into the arena and messed up our last battle, we're bringing one in the next battle. So this is going to be great.
For sure. For sure. I will say too, we've seen Noctowl have a big resurgence in the Pokemon regionals. Just such a good versatile mon, very thick. So Tima could rely on that big owl too. We'll see.
Absolutely. And then the two starters for Astro, we got that Swampert, which is a Titan in greatly, well, a Titan in all the leagues, and then the Venusaur as well with that Frenzy Plant, and then also the thickness with that Pokemon as well. So excited to see these Pokemon go head to head.
All right, let's get to it.
Did we do it? Did we get rid of them? Are they gone?
Okay. So.
Oh, hey, we're back. Welcome back. Oh, we're back, Fish. Oh, we got rid of all the Dedennes. We actually used one in the tournament. This is going to be great. Timarap caught one and pre-registered it right at the time of this matchup. So really great to see it. Fish, before I hit play on this tournament, this matchup, would you like to break down something? Is there anything you see that's sticking out to you?
I see the Ferrothorn, which has decent matchups against like 3 of those Pokemon on Astro Zombie's side. Obviously, will get very hard countered by the Talonflame and pretty decently hard countered by the Scrafty as well. So it's a bit of a polarizing Pokemon there. The Venusaur has the upper hand against the Ferrothorn if that matchup happens, and that is if the Ferrothorn is running Thunder rather than Zap Cannon. So interested to see what kind of play the Ferrothorn has on Tim's side.
Yeah, I am just hyped on that Victini. I just watched Kotsiak play it in Warsaw with that quick attack or tackle, and that thing can now play. Like, it's got V-Create, it's got Overheat. This thing's going to be a beast as a fire Pokemon, especially now with that Prick energy build up there. But we've got the Dedennes. I do like the starters that we were talking about from Astro Zombies team, and you're right about that Ferrothorn. So let's see what's going on here. But my gosh, I'm hyped about the Victini. I like seeing like new Pokemon like that popping up, especially fire Pokemon too, because fire, there's really no fire presence. Woo!
All right, we'll see the straight away.
Oh, it's a tough lead. Oh, it looks like our matchups are flopped
straight
right
out
now.
of there. Scrafty coming in, and Victini is the answer. Now, this is interesting. The foul play is going to put a lot of pressure on that Victini. Victini running the V-Create and Psychic. And in Pick 6 formats, this is kind of the better moveset for a Victini, because in the last couple of GBL metas where it's been prominent, it's gone double fire because there's been so little to resist it. But now you want the extra coverage. So now we're throwing the first V-Create, the Scrafty being shielded. And so we are down 1 shield apiece, but those foul plays are going to come in thick and fast. And the Victini is debuffed as well. So now I think the Victini is losing switch advantage.
Yep, and that, I like seeing it in play if you know how to play with the Victini, but if you debuff yourself and have a Scrafty that you're playing on, that is definitely not something you want to have happen. But it is the Noctowl now, and the Noctowl is going to grab all this farm, feeling safe, and you saw that it was the Ferrothorn on Tima's side that he's got as well, and the foul play is going to go through on the Noctowl. Now, the videos are swapped. We are aware it is Astro Zombie on the left and Timorap on the right. The Noctowl will throw and take out the Scrafty. Both battlers still holding on to one shield. We see Talonflame and Swampert on the one side and a Ferrothorn on the other. So yes, Swampert should definitely come in, because if the Ferrothorn comes out and locks itself, the Talonflame is going to have a feeding frenzy, and he makes the catch! Timorap makes the catch on the from the Swampert, and that is just, oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, with that Talonflame in the back, such a polarizing matchup like that, it absolutely relied on switch advantage. If it's plain and simple, if Timor had maintained switch advantage against the Scrafty, they are winning this battle. Now that they've lost that matchup, they are going to lose. It's like that Talonflame coming in against the Ferrothorn. Now, however, there has been a catch on the Noctowl and the Noctowl is still going, so maybe getting a couple of Sky Attacks in. No, not getting any of that energy off. And unfortunately, that Talonflame just finishing things off for Astro Zombie, and that is a hard 1 point.
That is a hard 1 point indeed, sir. That was a great play by Tima. The great lead, if you watched with Astro Zombie as well, lost the lead and came back and won the matchup. So great job at making the macro adjustments. Again, we have Tima on the left. Oh my goodness, it's the same thing. Astro on the left, Tima on the right. Can Astro make the same adjustment again? And it's back to the same matchup.
Much better.
This is so
That's
fast
how
and
it's done.
much better indeed.
Okay,
that fighting
so
typing does not want to
Noctowl-
see that flyer. The Sky Attack will draw out the shield, sir. And there we go. There is a Dedennes in the back, not Victini this time, for Timorap.
Okay, yeah, and that's actually a really nice adjustment, because that's obviously going to resist the Scrafty rather than being weak to it. So it's going to have a much better matchup if that matchup were to happen. However, I don't think it is going to happen, because we see the Noctowl just putting all this pressure on the Scrafty. However, this is why Scrafty is such a good Pokemon, because look at this. It's almost taken that Noctowl down into the red. If it wanted to second shield, I think it could have countered it down and won back that switch advantage.
I think so too. There's not many flying type Pokemon that want to see these counters. A lot of these flyers, like Noctowl, has that normal typing, and those counters really add up. Sky Attack gonna come through, gonna not get shielded. Astro Zombie holding on to that because he knows the Ferrothorn is in the back, so he doesn't want his Swampert to be food frenzy for the Ferrothorn. Comes in with the Hydro Cannon, and here you go. The Burb will say goodbye and head back to the Pokeball. Thank you, Noctowl, for a wonderful job.
So
it is snowing over at Timorap, but
out.
Ferrothorn does not care as the bullet seeds are going to land on that Swampert, my friend. Here comes the Earthquake. Is there going to get a shield? No.
No shield on the Ferrothorn. This is a neutral Earthquake, but it's not as damaging as if it was a Shadow Swampert. That thing would have KO'd the Ferrothorn with an Earthquake. The regular not doing as much. And now Talonflame comes out and is not going to like what it sees, Sosa.
I am glad to see the Dedennes on the battlefield and not chewing at our electrical wires in the back of the arena, as it's gonna throw off the discharge and grab that last shield. Now Talonflame is building up tons and tons of energy. I don't know if there's a game plan here for Astro Zombie to go with just double flame charge, but we are going to see the discharge come through and take out the Talonflame.
Ooh.
And Dedennes gets the point for his buddy Timorap.
Just knocking that thing out of the sky. That was a lot of damage for like discharge is not a particularly strong move, and like that Talonflame just did not want a bar of it.
No, it didn't. And will Astro make an adjustment, or will he keep the same thing? We've seen Noctowl come out twice now. As you see, there is finally an adjustment, but it's not the one that we wanted to see, as it's still Swampert, but is now Machamp. And Astro takes the lead there with the shielding the first cross chop.
Yeah, so this is with shields up. This is advantage Machamp here. It's getting to the cross drops every 5 counters. Now the Swampert is getting to its Hydro Cannons in 5-4-5, so it does slightly outpace, but Machamp does win CMP. So it's going to need those shields if it wants to shore up this matchup. However, I did not see what was on Astro Zombie's backline, but I'm thinking that Ferrothorn might be useless now with the way the last battles have gone.
Yeah, if you weren't going to leave Ferrothorn and meet it with that Swampert, it's not going to do really well. Gonna shield the Rock Slide. Makes this.
And that was a hesitated shield as well. It almost didn't do that. Now the Dedennes is going to come out, and with shields down, that discharge is going to do exactly what it did before. Brave Bird is not going to be. It's going to be resisted, so it's not going to be enough. And it's also now going to be severely weakened. That defense has dropped a large amount. So the discharge, if it didn't KO before, it is going to KO 3 times over now.
Yeah, it was in the green last matchup and took a discharge, fully defense up. This was debuff defense, and that discharge took it out back to the Pokeball, and it is Swampert getting to the Hydro Cannon before Dedennes can knock out that discharge. So Swampert's going to take out this Dedennes, and it is going to be Ferrothorn, I think, coming out to see this Swampert. Taps away. It looks like Machamp's still about half health, man.
Yeah, the fact that the Swampert got to that Hydro Cannon isn't actually bad for Tim, because now he gets to get that little bit of extra farm on the Machamp. Has a cross chop built up now. The Ferrothorn comes in, and I think that is Flash Cannon that it's got. So that's a good move. It's got the same type attack bonus, so that'll do a lot of damage to the Scrafty and potentially just put it in that cross chop range for the Machamp.
Absolutely, as it's just going to go for the Power Whip, and this will be real effective. It's going to hurt this Scrafty right to the face, taking it to the yellow. As you see, another power-up punch is ready to go. The foul play is there. Oh, but the Power Whip from Ferrothorn coming in. If Scrafty survives, we are looking at a CMP tie here to go in, but no, it doesn't, as Ferrothorn takes that battle.
And Machamp just puts its gloves down longingly, wanting to throw that final punch, but unable to do so. The coach just telling it, "No, mate, keep it, save it. We'll have another battle. We'll have more battles. We'll have battles again. We will battle again.
We will battle on the field again." We'll find out what the analyst says. We're gonna head back to the desk now to our wonderful analysts. Analyst, what'd you see?
So every time I see Dedennes come out to play, the word small but mighty every single time. That little mouse just it can put up a fight. It can absolutely put up a fight. The play with the Ferrothorn and the Swampert, the like we kind of talked about, that mental chess that has to happen when you're doing the show 6 pick 3. The mental chess that has to happen is just absolutely incredible, and like the adjustments each team made in order to counter the other. I love seeing that. Absolutely love it.
Oh, for sure. Timurap coming out of game 1 made 2 changes, 2 very significant changes, in my opinion, for game 2 and 3. The Dedennes comes out in game 2, breaks up the Scrafty Talonflame core, and then, lo and behold, in game 3, Shadow Machamp comes out with the devastating Rock Slide, looking to land on a Talonflame, as well as very significant counter damage to not only the Scrafty, but the Swampert as well. The decision in game 2 to not take switch there with the Scrafty proved to be pretty hurtful for Astro there. But hey, he stuck to his guns. He brought the Scrafty all 3 games, and I'm never going to accuse him of false advertising in loving that Scrafty.
Oh yeah, Astro and his dark types. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Also, sure. those hesitated shields always like make me start sweating every single time. That Shadow Machamp was cooking up a Rock Slide, and I was like, oh, this is gonna hurt Talonflame. But yeah, the shield came out. So, but well played to both battlers on both sides.
For sure. If that Rock Slide would have landed, I would have been worried that even my Talonflame would have been deleted from my account, because can we talk about the heavy damage that would have done? But hey, JP, we've got a tied matchup here.
Well, I'm excited to see what our next battlers are going to pull out, what Pokemon are going to come out of their Pokeball to battle and see if they can claim their glory.
Yeah, let's speed through. Let's take a look at those next lineups. All right, we've got Athena going into Buckeye Fitzy. What jumps off the page to you?
Ooh, that Runegrigus. I love that thing. I've always loved it since they introduced it. I'm excited to see that Pokemon come out to play. And one of my personal favorite Pokemon, Shadow Alolan Marowak. I'm excited to see how this is going to hold up in battle as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Buckeye deals with the Swampert. So looking at the Swampert matchup, I mean, it's got the potential to land some neutral hydro cannons, which don't really need any more explanation of how hard those hit, as well as a possible earthquake for the Registeel. But something that stands out to me as well is the play that Vigoroth has on Buckeye's side. Even against the Shadow Alolan Marowak, Bulldoze, although not the best move in the game, it can definitely hit back and turn that into a very interesting matchup. So looking forward to seeing how each battler tries to box out those threats.
Absolutely, and we got to do a nice little shout out for that looks like a Tropius over there. So I'm excited to see these Pokemon's coming out to play.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it indeed. Fish, before I hit play, anything that pops out at you?
Scrafty on Athena's side.
I'm sorry, you sound a little soft there. Speak up to your microphone. Did you say Scrafty?
Yes, Scrafty on Athena's side. I think has a lot of play. I think that we were talking so much about switch advantage before, and I think that Scrafty has the ability to, depending on how you play it, gain switch advantage against all of those Pokemon on Buckeye's Fitzy's side. Like we saw how close it got the Noctowl in the last battle to fainting. If Asteroid wanted to use the second shield, he would have been able to switch that. The Vigoroth, as you keep powering up your counters, those counters will do more than what the Vigoroth counters are doing to you in return. The Sableye doesn't like seeing a Scrafty, the Registeel doesn't like seeing a Scrafty, the Ghost type in the Runegrigus doesn't want to see the Scrafty, so I think Scrafty is very important to Athena.
Yeah, the way you call that out, Scrafty seems very important to Athena. We're going to see how that plays out. I like how Buckeye Fitzy bringing back the Registeel, saying like, just because it got a little debuff doesn't mean I'm afraid of it. Afraid to use it still. It's not a bad Pokemon, as we are going to see the Shadow Swampert into the Noctowl. Now these Hydro Cannons actually take Noctowl into the yellow, so if he's going to let these go through, this is going to be some pain from this Shadow Swampert. We'll see how it plays out. Athena making sure to hit all of the bubbles there, and this is going to take the Noctowl. It's going to hurt that Noctowl pretty well. That's a Shadow Hydro Cannon, man. That thing hurts like a truck. Oh, it makes a kill! My goodness! Oh, Athena is playing catch moves with the world finalists right now. Get out of here.
Yeah, that was crazy. And that's another Pokemon that's pretty darn safe on Athena's side as well. The water electric typing doing really nicely to resist that sky attack there, and it has the weaponry to hit everything on Buckeye Fitzy's side for at least neutral damage. So now Vigoroth is Buckeye's counter to that idea of the Lantern. The Bulldoze is going to KO, but not if it's shielded, Sosa. The shield comes up and Athena's Lantern will stay in, have a little more play. A Surf probably not going to take it out, but at least puts it into Spark range.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, like, I watched Water Gun Lantern the other day. We just did a Creaser's Water Gun Lantern. It is so good with Spark 2 generating, putting that pressure on the shield, taking the damage. Like, Lantern is so good. We talked about Vigoroth and didn't even see Lantern coming, as Lantern is still around with energy, and Athena is just in full control of this matchup right now.
Yeah, and did you see that extra little bit of farm that she got up on that Swampert? Like, Shadow Swampert is dangerous enough on its own. You give it some farmland, and it will punish an opponent.
one of the top S-tier coverage Pokemon out there. Swampert putting all the pressure. But look, there are 2 shields on Buckeye Fitzy's side, my friend. So he is playing the Ramberto. He might have a game plan now. He still doesn't know what's the 3rd Pokemon in the back. And that might actually cost, because it is Tropius versus that Registeel. So we'll have to see what Athena does here, because Buckeye Fitzy might be able to put that Registeel into play and get it a good position to take the W. But oh my goodness, this Swampert can't stop! It cannot stop, Fish! Just Hydro Cannon after Hydro Cannon. Is this Weather Ball? Did I miss something here?
Oh, that was a good attempt at a catch, but not good enough. The Registeel throwing the Focus Blast. Actually, you know what? Because both moves might have been neutral, I think the Zap Cannon is the preferred move to throw against the Tropius, which makes me think that maybe Athena did time that right, and Buckeye threw the move that they didn't want to throw. So the Focus Blast, oh my bad, sorry, the Focus Blast is resisted by the Grass Flying type. I am all over the place tonight. So very good by Athena. She is making catches all over the place. That is absolutely doing her case good. Now the Zap Cannon comes through. It's not going to be enough for the Tropius. Tropius just chipping away, making the job a little bit easier for Swampert, just softening up that Registeel so that the Swampert can come in and finish the job.
And Lock-Arms aren't going to do anything, so the Tropius has to throw, or the Registeel has to throw energy, or Tropius is getting another Leaf Blade off. Like, you cannot lock down this Pokemon. You have to throw your energy, and there's no way that you're going to be able to do that. Here comes the Swampert, and immediate to the Hydro Cannon. And with all that energy, Athena makes the play. Good lord, beats a lock-on turn move Pokemon and gets the CMP. Well played, Athena. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was dangerous, because that Swampert was one Mudshot away from the Hydro Cannon, and that Registeel did have a move ready. So if Buckeye was real quick on firing that move, could have prevented that from happening. But luckily for Athena, wasn't the case. She was quick enough and got the job done.
And we're right back into it. We've got Lantern into Vigoroth here. No time to figure out what they were doing in adjustments. We're getting right into the battles, Fish. We're worried about the Dedennes and Voltorbs running through our arena tonight. Got to get it all through as counters are coming in. Again, counters building up nicely here. Vigoroth having that Bulldoze does put that pressure down. This is Thunderbolt. Will it not get shielded? It will get shielded. That's a lot of energy that Athena just threw.
Yeah, now Vigoroth does have that Bulldoze to throw back with, but the Vigoroth is not going to throw the Bulldoze just yet, going for that Body Slam bait. Athena holding her nerve. Oh no, he just throws up the shield at the last moment and is now kicking herself and throwing a Surf in return. This, I don't think will get shielded. Buckeye's not going to want to throw 2 shields in this early stage of the battle.
I absolutely love this bait game Buckeye's trying to play on Athena right now, trying to grab both shields. He threw the Bulldoze first in game 1, but it's game 2 and he's throwing nothing but Body Slams. The counters are adding up. Body Slam is still a great move to add on with that Lantern. Getting the 2nd shield now. Didn't even need to bait. Might not even been a bait game, Fish. We could be saying it's a bait, but it was never a bait. That was his game plan. As he makes the catch. Oh, oh my goodness, Buckeye Fitzy gets the Bull Club onto a Registeel. Oof. Yeah, that's so gotta hurt Athena.
Are obviously going to do super effective damage against the Registeel. The Registeel only has the Zap Cannon to hit back onto the Marowak with. The Athena's still going with those Bone Clubs. Now, funnily enough, the Shadow Bone, even though it is neutral versus the Bone Clubs being super effective, the Shadow Bone will actually do more damage and more damage per energy, because Bone Club is a very weak move. So, wow, look at how much that Zap Cannon did! That is incredible damage, and that Marowak is going to have to try and do as much as it can with a little bit of energy and some hope.
You know what? Is that switch timer off? This Marowak could... Yeah, if this Marowak's got one more tap, he could swap out into a Shadow Bone. No, just going to soak up the energy and be used as a 3rd shield. That's brilliant. Right, it's debuffed, all the energy, that's fine. don't want to play some lock-on catch. You got Swampert here, and oh my goodness, Swampert onto the Noctowl. There's still a shield there. Again, we saw the Hydro Cannons take the Noctowl into the yellow, and these things are coming off fast. Now, the Hydro Cannon Swampert does not want to see that Shadow Ball, has to time this catch out. Tries to do it and can't do it in time.
Yeah, Buckeye was onto it this time. He's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, yeah, you know the rest of it.
You're not gonna fool me twice.
So a Sky Attack will be enough here. We saw that it was resisted before, but at this low HP, it should absolutely be enough, and has the extra Sky Attack ready for that Swampert when it comes back in. He's like, say hello to my little friend. But not even going for the Sky Attack, going for the higher damage Shadow Ball. Now the Swampert getting through with the Hydro Cannon first, and that will KO that Noctowl, so that Shadow Ball going to waste, and now is going to be able to mud shot that Vigoroth down. That had so many twists and turns. I thought it was going one way, then it went another way. It was a left hook, then a right hook, then it's an uppercut to the jaw. That was amazing, Sosa.
I can't believe it. He tried to go for the Shadow Ball, but the Hydro Cannon came through first. That Swampert was so loaded. Needed to throw the Sky Attack because those counters would have taken it out. But it is Athena who comes in on top. And now it's Lantern into the Whiscash. Buckeye Fitzy, the regional battler, going to Yokohama, Japan, is playing crazy, but Athena Swampert is proving to be a factor here, as now the Lantern's throwing surfs onto this Whiscash, and it sparks all the way. Now this is Mud Bomb, not a Bone Club. This will be a little more super effective than a regular ground move on the Bone Club, so Lantern's still tanky, 190 health Fish. This thing is so thick. This thing is so thick. They're still finding ways to find thick, tanky Pokemon. Even though they banned 10 of them, these battlers have found ways to still keep meta tanky Pokemon out there. And Lantern is one of those. Getting to those surfs and makes the catch.
Oh man, this is like the World Series. Catches going all over the place. Now that Lantern obviously did not want to see a Mud Bomb, so the Swampert is like, I got this, bruh. And we've seen this a few times now. The Swampert into the Noctowl. Now, the Swampert is not going to want to see any charge move damage from this Noctowl because it is so low in health and it's a glassy Pokemon already. The Noctowl can tank one Hydro Cannon just fine. Obviously, Buckeye shielding the first one, not wanting to get that Hydro Cannon damage just yet. The Swampert is now going to shield to get off another Hydro Cannon. Will we see the next Hydro Cannon coming through before the Noctowl can get to the next Sky Attack? Or will we see a catch? Will we see the Noctowl winning that race? I don't know, Sosa.
There's so much going on. Now, Athena doesn't have shields. The Sky Attack will take it out. Yeah, can't afford to lose another shield. Buckeye Fitzy still keeping his last shield. This is brilliant. He's got the Registeel in the back. Obviously, that Lantern's coming back out to throw the Thunderbolt. We're going to say goodbye to the Noctowl here. We should say goodbye to the Noctowl here because that Regesteel's just going to come in and farm down. Not to mention that Whiscash is still pretty healthy too, Fish. Like, those are two Pokemon that's really tanky, as there is just the Marowak in the back. And Marowak kind of still doesn't want to see either of those charge moves that these Pokemon are rocking on Buckeye Fitzy's team. And there is no shields for it.
Yeah, so the Surf is not going to do much to that. Such a tanky Pokemon as Registeel. Like you said, there is so much tank still in these teams, despite all the tanky bans. I'm surprised we're not seeing any Chansey in the sides. So another Surf coming through. I'm a little surprised with this. I'm thinking maybe Thunderbolt might be the better move there, but that's okay. The Zap Cannon is going to get thrown on that Shadow, Alolan, Marowak. And we saw how much damage that did last time. It takes it into the yellow. It takes about 2/3 of its HP out. And now the Whiscash is going to come in and be like, da-da-da-da-da, let's go. Coming in, throwing the Mud Bomb, taking out that Shadow Alolan Marowak like it ain't nobody's business. And out comes the Lantern again, and it's not going to be able to do anything either. That Whiscash, an excellent choice, taking out both of those, doing super effective damage, being a good, nice counter to two of the Pokemon on Athena's side. So that is a nice point earned back on Buckeye Fitzy's side.
Absolutely. He needed to get a point back, could not allow his team to fall down by 3 right off the bat. So we were once even. It is now 5-4. A great job for Buckeye Fitzy to get a point for his team. Every point counts, as you have played numerous amounts of times. We've seen it. 1 point could get you that win for your team. So we're going to go back to the analyst desk now and find out what they had to say from these wonderful matchups.
Well, Kyle, Buckeye and Athena were really taking the tagline of Pokemon seriously. Got to catch them all, because those were some amazing catches, especially in game 2. That the Registeel, when it threw that Zap Cannon, it got that the attack drop from the Marowak. The caliber of battles was absolutely incredible. What stood out to you during those battles?
Oh yeah, for sure, JT. If I had $1 for every catch that we had, and another $1 for every hydro cannon we saw coming from that Shadow Swampert, I would have a pretty fat wallet. I can tell you that. A big theme that I've seen so far in these battles is late adjustments to try to break up those cores that another battler is favoring it. And Buckeye did just that in game 3. So bringing out the Wish Cache to try to have a really solid answer for not just the Lantern, but the Alolan Marowak as well. And that you never know. Just like Sosa said, 1 point can make all the difference in the world. And so Buckeye picking up that game 3 kept this almost as close as it was in the beginning. And we've got several more to go.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to see what these next battlers have, what Pokemon are going to be seeing the light of day out of their Pokeballs, and see what they can claim for victory. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move to the next one then.
All right, so we got Lyles Jeff the third versus Tribird. We got some high caliber battlers. It looks like we got a Cresselia for Lyles Jeff, a Diggersby, a Walrein, a Pelipper, a Shadow Beedrill, and a Como-O for Lyles Jeff. And what are we seeing for Tribird, Kyle?
Yeah, so Tribird is bringing a Pelipper, a Skarmory, a Registeel, the all-popular Sableye, the thick Umbreon, and the Nidoqueen. I see a lot of play in that Diggersby. I don't know about you, JT, but looking at us now, assuming Lyle brings Fire Punch and Earthquake, it's got several targets. The Nidoqueen and the Reggie are absolutely not going to enjoy the Earthquakes. Fire Punches for the Skarmory, as well as double resisting those Shadow Claws from the Sableye. So it'll be interesting to see how Lyle, if Lyle does choose to favor the Diggersby. But I mean, Sableye is Sableye, right?
Oh yeah. Sableye will make you send out the hate and it'll return it right back with return. But yeah, I'm excited to see these Pokemon come out and show the world what they've got.
All right, let's see them in action.
Whoops, that was last matchup. Fish.
Dedennes.
Como-O. Yeah, another Dedennes problem. Another Dedennes problem. I love seeing that Como-O. We got double Pelipper, Fish. What's going on here? Double Pelipper? Pelipper?
Double bubble Pelipper. Let's go. I mean, Pelipper was all the rage in GBL for a while and then kind of fell off the radar. It's still good. What happened to Pelipper? Anyone forget about Pelipper?
I mean, the fact that it has 113 health makes it not so good. Galvantula was a thing that's popped up. Registeel has that one move called Zap Cannon that, like, woo! Saw what it did to... We saw what it did to a Shadow Marowak. Oh, Tribird wants to battle in the snow. Let's do this.
Quick. Oh! I mean, you know what would be great here would be the Pelipper.
A Pelipper. But you got a dragon fighting in this snow battlefield right now, and it's Dragon Tail. I'm loving the Como-O, the fighting dragon type that's been played in here. Dragon Tail chunking away at this Umbreon. It's got close combat there. We'll build up for 2 and throw the double, but we will see it just take a Psychic. Oh, snap! We didn't even see it coming. Tribird's got us all guessing what this Umbreon's rocking. What community day Umbreon this is.
Yeah. Now it puts that thing. Oh no, not to be outdone. Lyle Jeff's throwing in the close combat, then getting out of there. Walrein, just the old bait and switch. You don't know watching this hand and you can't see what this hand's doing in the back. It's incredible. That Walrein getting up a little bit of extra powder snow damage before that Umbreon goes away and hides its head in shame. Skarmory is now going to come out. And that Walrein with a little bit of energy, it does a pretty good job against the Skarmory, even though it is a flying type that isn't weak to the Icicle Spears. They add up over time. So this is a good position for Lyle.
Look, Skarmory thinks it's all high and mighty now that Walrein and Registeel are sitting in the back, but it is still not wanting to see these Icicle Spears as Walrein's putting on that pressure. Again, the Walrus might have felt a little bit of a debuff with the Weather Ball, but I certainly have not felt any sort of real debuff from this Pokemon, as it still puts on the amazing pressure that it does with the... There's the Pelipper! There he is! With these Icicle Spears, spamming them off like they do. The tanky Walrus, they're looking like a clown, having a wonderful time here in the snow. Oh my, half the health is gone off that Pelipper. Walrein is why Pelipper is gone, my friend. Like, good lord. That Walrus is going to keep putting on the damage.
So Lyle opting to keep that Walrein going. Getting off one more Icicle Spear. We'll see if Tribird takes the bait and shields the Pokemon, or whether they let it go down. Goes down. Oh, that is because... yeah, they do have the one shield left, and now that Snipe with the Dragon Tail, that close combat will hurt the Skarmory, but I believe I did see one shield left on Tribird's side. And it is used. So that Kommo-o is going to go down. We still have a Diggersby unused in the back, waiting to go. Those Fire Punches don't do that much, even though it's a Steel Pokemon, but the Skarmory has so little HP left, you'd think that the Diggersby has this.
Look, I'm a little worried. If Tribird is going to go Brave Bird, that's going to get that defense debuff to it, so that Diggersby can throw at least one Fire Punch and take KO. But he throws the Sky Attack. Thank goodness, because that Brave Bird would have done some damage, but with this Fire Punch, it is effective, would have KO'd it. And it's all down to the mud shots here. This is Lyle Jeff's amazing catch onto the Walrein. Be able to keep it healthy and thick and throw off the Diggersbys with the Fire Punches. Great job there. Be able to snipe out two Pokemon. Lyle's Jeff got his team the point.
Yeah, and I just want to take a moment to point out how stacked the BTW team is. Because like we just put a call out like, hey, we're doing this thing. Who wants to battle in it? And people just put up their hands. Yeah, I'll do it. These guys, they're like Drago. Like, I must break you. Yeah, they just got all the regional winners and GBL leaderboarders and podcast hosts.
Hey,
they absolutely wanted to crush our battlers' souls.
We're gonna talk about Tribird, because Tribird is a really great battler too. Excuse me, he was on the regionals, but it is Diggersby back into Skarmory. We'll touch back on that in a second. You see the Fire Punches are loading up here as the Mud Shots just building the energy. Now this is a great time to throw that Brave Bird, because you can swap that Skarmory out. So obviously Tribird waiting till the first Fire Punch goes through before he wants to throw the energy, and there it is. I believe this would be a Brave Bird. This should be the Brave Bird and dip. Yeah.
You think there it is.
Look at that health damage.
I mean, it doesn't do enough though. You want it to do more. The Diggersby is now going to throw the Earthquake against the Umbreon. Now, a tanky Pokemon against another tanky Pokemon, this won't do as much as what you want it to do. Either Earthquake, such a big nuke move, but not doing enough on that Umbreon, so that Umbreon has plenty of play. And now in comes Lyle's Pelipper. Obviously, they aren't that down on Pelipper. So
no, you know what? That's great. I'm glad that we see Pelipper and Pelipper's actually being used. A wonderful job. Lyles is basically saying, you want to try Pelipper? I'll show you how to play a Pelipper. But again, Pelipper is just not doing anything but soaking up all of this damage from the switched in Pokemon. The Weather Ball will come through on the Umbreon, but it shouldn't take it out. Anywhere close to Umbreon feels so safe. Both battlers holding on to two shields, tapping away to get that last Weather Ball and maybe force that first shield off his opponent, as Lyle is going to wait to throw this Weather Ball.
Yeah, You know what? I've just figured out Pelipper. I've figured out what Pelipper's role is. It's really good in a GBL battle at fainting. So, like, if you just need a Pokemon to go in there and faint, then Pelipper's your guy. Like,
right? It's like using a
Yeah,
500 CP Pokemon in your line, right? You just put it out to just lose a debuff, make the catch, and then you bring whatever back in. Only Pelipper can throw weather balls. Now the Walrus is waiting to see
Zap
what's in the
Brannigan
bag.
coming in going, you know what, we can just send wave after wave of Pokemon at it, right? So now Skarmory is in against the Walrein again, and again, that Skarmory on not the most HP, so these Icicle Spears, it's not going to want to see too many of them. We see one shield coming out. That is the first shield used in the battle, so it was a little bit of time before we saw our first shield. Now they are starting to come out. Will we see a double shield? No, you wouldn't think so. The Tribird letting that second one through and now throwing a move which in turn will be shielded.
I don't recall if we have seen the third Pokemon yet. I know we've seen the Umbreon and the Skarmory now. I don't recall if the third Pokemon has been shown by Tribird, but we see the Icicle Spear loaded up on Lyle, and it is the Pelipper. Again, Tribird rocking the double flyer move against a Walrein lineup. I kind of intrigued by that. Walrein's so good, but tried to make it work, and here comes the Walrus just having a cuckoo good time.
And interestingly, oh wow!
Oh no! We literally just told Tribird and Lyle what Pelipper's meant for. It's meant to just soak in energy and faint, and that's what it's gonna do. But the catch comes through, gets rid of one Weather Ball, gets the second Weather Ball on the shield, and now the Icicle Spears are gonna be spamming off 2 Icicle Spears on this Walrus, and this should be the KO for Lyles, getting a second matchup for his team.
Yeah, that was close. Look, if Lyle didn't have that shield, then that would have been an excellent end game from Tribird. Pelipper would have come in handy there, but unfortunately, that loaded Walrus.
Sir, yes, that loaded Walrus. I'm going to tell you right now, Tribird, like, yes, BTW has some great teams. Tribird was an amazing battler. Lily Bear has been rocking Girls That PvP battlers for a while. Like, the Pallet Town PVP came to play. There's definitely been some great battlers. But yes, it is very, intimidating when you see names like Buckeye and Lyle on another team for sure. But we get the Diggersby into
I do want to reiterate, like, it was no knock on the battlers on our team at all.
Cool.
They are all very, very good. I was just looking at them and going, like seeing these 8-foot-tall monsters and being like, well, I guess we got our work cut out. But, alright, so now we see the Diggersby into the Umbreon. Now, we saw how much this Earthquake did before, which is not that much. But that makes it all the more reason just to go for it, not worry about any sort of baiting game here. The Umbreon is going to fire back with a foul play. They're just playing this one out, feeling each other out, nobody wanting to give up their switch advantage just yet.
Here's a fun fact about both of these teams I just realized. Neither of them are rocking a counter user, so Umbreon feeling super safe. Even to take the Earthquake as well, like, just a great job by Tribird to know what the matchup is and know what his Pokemon can take and not have to worry about any real fast move damage coming from Lyle's team. Now, those Earthquakes have been stacking up. Now, the Umbreon's in the red. The foul play will come through and knock the Diggersby into the red, but not as deep of a red as it was out there. And here comes the Fire Punch, which might force the shield from Tribird depending on how he feels about Switch. We'll find out right now. He does not mind giving up the Switch. Immediate swaps.
Oh, here it is. All right. Okay, Lyle has gotten themselves trapped into a Walrein Redisteel situation. The Walrein doesn't like this under many circumstances at all. However, it does have that secret weapon, hashtag not so secret, of the Earthquake that is there. And we see that Tribird is worried about it because throwing up the shield on the first one, Lyle smells blood. So opting to keep this Walrein safe and shield that Zap Cannon, building up to the Earthquake. Is he going to bait again? No, going for the Earthquake this time. Is Tribird going to throw the second shield up, or is he going to let this one go?
Walrein me.
Wow, that's a lot of damage. Red is still suddenly not as strong anymore.
Wall raid me twice, shame on me. Wall raid me 3 times, I'm bringing Registeel in. Like, I'm tired of seeing this Walrus dominating. Finally gets the debuff on the Zap Cannon, and here you go. Will we get the shield? I think the shield could come in now on this Icicle Spear because he can get to the next Focus Blast, but we'll see what Triber wants to do. He's going to let that Registeel go. There is a shield left, and it is the Skarmory. There's 3 Pokemon left on Lyle's team, but that Diggersby is in the deep red, and the Pelipper isn't that healthy. So we'll find out how he plays it out, because that Walrus still needs a good Brave Bird to take it out. And so there's no Pokemon that the debuff Skarmory would like to can swap out and lose a debuff. So it has to force to be thrown that Sky Attack.
And so now the Diggersby is going to come out, and we'll get to that Fire Punch, which won't KO the Skarmory, but it will take a decent chunk out of its remaining HP. The Skarmory is going to want to try and farm this thing down, not going to want to throw the energy, but the Fire Punch does get there first, so now Tribird is going to probably have to use that shield now if they want to keep all that energy they built up.
Ooh. Yep, the last shield goes down. They've got tons of energy. Walreign's in the back. It's the Pelipper again. We were just talking smack about Pelipper, and it might end up being the MVP for Lyle here, getting a 3-0. But here comes the first attack. Will this be the Brave Bird? Will this be the Brave Bird, and will it KO this Pelipper? It's gotta be, right? Oh, it doesn't
it survives! And Pelipper, the hero coming out at the end. Just the rest of the team just beaten Tribird's team to a pulp, and Pelipper just comes out and just taps him over, falls down, and Pelipper's looking back at the rest of this team like, why don't you guys do something next time, huh?
The Pokemon solely used for taking energy and fainting actually wins the matchup here and stays alive with 1 little health and throws that Weather Ball. So we're going to kick it back to the analysts now as they're going to tell us what they saw of these amazing matches as Lyle has now got a 3-0 and has got his team 1 point away to victory.
Oh, man. Kyle, that first off, I gotta say congrats to both battlers, but that Umbreon and that Psychic, where did that come from?
Oh man, I don't know what was more surprising, the Psychic landing on the Komodo or the Komodo firing right back with a close combat. I mean, game 1 brought out all the stops.
Absolutely, like it was absolutely incredible. I loved our casters kind of dishing on Pelipper a little bit, but Pelipper came out to play. It's like, well, hey coach, if you want to win, put Pelipper in, right?
Well, it was like the redemption story of all redemption stories, right? It takes all the heat from the casters, talked down, stomped upon, and then it tanks a Brave Bird, no problem.
Absolutely, the biggest underdog, well, Underbird story, but absolutely incredible. Yeah, that Pelipper just came to play.
It really did. And hey, I don't want to put a feather in my hat here, but that Diggersby came all 3 games, did it not?
Absolutely. Like with the hot hands, with that Fire Punch, man, we are killing it with these puns. I'm loving it right now. But yeah, that Fire Punch was just doing work on that Skarmory, but the Skarmory was also holding its own. So absolutely incredible battles.
For sure. So we've still got one more matchup to play. There's a chance that Pallet Town comes back, takes the lead, takes it home. But we're gonna have to look at these matchups first to see what the chances of that are. So Dark Ice is gonna be bringing. Is that a Sneasler? I see. We've got a Runerigus, a Galarian Wheezing, of all things, Golbat, Empoleon, and Galvantula. I'm loving these picks. We haven't seen several of these so far tonight.
Absolutely. We've got Miami Doc representing BTW with a Shadow Nidoqueen, an Umbreon, a Skarmory, Shadow Machamp, Cofagrigus, and a Lantern. And any of these Pokemon jumping out at you?
Yeah, so the Galarian Wheezing has gained a lot of respect for me, honestly. I've seen several battlers running it into the high elos because, quite honestly, the typing and the versatility of Play Rough and the hard-hitting Overheat, I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon that can hit for heavy damage. There's just nowhere to run from that moveset. But one thing that's going to be interesting is what does Miami Doc do with the Lantern moveset? Things can really change depending on whether you go Water Gun for maybe the Runerigus, or do you go Spark for the Empoleon or the Golbat?
Absolutely, because both of those Pokemon can be an absolute like the double threat, the triple kind of a triple threat -1. But yeah, both of those Pokemon can be really good. I'm excited. I want to see Cofagrigus come out to play. I love that Pokemon. It's just neat. It's really handy, if you will. So I'm excited to see how that Pokemon is going to come out, and well, if it comes out, to see how it holds up against the potential Runerigus.
For sure. I feel the exact same way about the Sneasler. Like, what is how much damage is this Sneasler going to do if it lands a close combat on the thick Umbreon? I can't wait to find out.
It was like tank versus power. Let's see it.
Oh, we're going to see it indeed. It is the last matchup here. Dark Ice versus Miami Doc. Fish, 1 point is needed from BTW, and Pallet Town PVP has probably the spiciest line I've seen come across here in Battle Nights. What are your thoughts here on this before we get into this last matchup?
I happen to know Dark Ice loves that Galarian Wheezing, and I want to see that have plenty of play. And it does have plenty of play. Like, it's got tools against a lot of that opposing side, like the overheat, plus the play rough. Nothing there. There's no Pokemon on Miami Doc's side that resists both of those moves, so it has play there. Double resisting the counters from the Machamp. It's neutral to the Poison Fangs from the Nidoqueen are neutral to it as well. So yeah, that'll be an interesting Pokemon. I hope to see a bit of Galarian Wheezing action.
We get the Sneasler coming in as the lead, and it's on the Cofagrigus. Now, is this Hisuian Sneasler? This is not Dark typing. This is Poison fighting, right? So the Ghost is just doing well here.
It is. The Shadow Claw is interestingly super effective against the Cofagrigus, but doesn't matter. The Cofagrigus is still doing more damage back with its stab Shadow Claws. The Dark Pulse, good leave by Dark Ice, because that was a resisted move. Miami Dog making the reasonable decision to throw the lesser energy move, because all moves will place pressure on such a glassy Pokemon as Sneasler. Unfortunately, now it gets the farm down and now has a lot of energy that it can employ against this Galvantula.
Wow, it is Fury Cutter Galvantula. Is that Energy Ball on it too? Did I see that? Are we playing Fury Cutter Energy Ball Galvantula? No, it is regular moveset Galvantula, but some spice here. Dark Ice. I'm loving seeing this Dark Icy 17. We've got lunges coming out, debuffs popping up, and Cofagrigus is now seeing Runerigus. Let me tell you something. Our good man Greg is putting up the work, Fish. Oh my goodness, this tanky Pokemon getting the last shield as well, and finally swaps out to the Umbreon. That is not what you want to see for Dark Icy. This is not looking good, but the Sand Tomb is going to bring on the debuff, so we're hoping to see that Galvantula dealing with this debuffed Umbreon pretty soon.
Yeah, so Umbreon is just going to have a ball against this Runerigus. The Runerigus can only throw Sand Tombs back, which is not going to do very much damage. Going to lower its defense a lot, but it's not really going to do much if all you can throw instead of that is the Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. So yeah, you can see the Umbreon taking out most of the Runerigus, and we'll probably just be able to style down from there.
Yeah, building up that energy. It is not looking good. Just debuff after debuff, trying so hard. I mean, the defense on this Pokemon. Oh, it's going to stay alive though. Oh no, but there's no shields. There's so much energy on this Umbreon too. This could be a last resort. Oh, a foul play coming off. And it is Lantern in the back. The discharge will come through, but Lantern, I have said it so many times, is so thick. Like, it'll take a discharge. It doesn't want to take a discharge, but it'll take a discharge. And it's Water Gun
It'll take
Lantern.
it, and it'll like it.
It is Water Gun Lantern to deal with.
Is going to finish off that Runerigus, and that is going to be the winning point for Miami Doc and BTW. Congratulations to Team BTW.
That is congratulations indeed. That's just unfortunate. We will play out the last two battles here because we love seeing battles here at Battle Night. Oh, Fury Cutter, Galvantula. Ooh, Dark Icy, you
before.
spicy.
It's
oh,
okay.
there he is.
It's okay.
There he is.
There's Mr. Wheezepot, Mr. Wheezing, Mr. Smoghead, going with its Fairy Winds against the Steel type in the Skarmory. So obviously it's not going to care one bit about the Fairy Winds, but it will care about the Overheat. Now, Dark-Eye's gone for, this is one of those very few Pokemon that has this weird baiting situation where the bait move has more energy than the nuke move. Now, Miami Doc does fall for it, so that means that Dark Ice is going to be able to get to that Overheat pretty quickly. The Sky Attack is going to be shielded, and now we are going to see the second move. This is going to be the Overheat. We'll see if Miami Doc shields.
Oh my goodness, look at how this lovely Pokemon throws up and gets both the shields. Immediate swap out, and it's into the Runegrigus here. The Skarmory gonna throw the damage and then probably dip. This could be Brave Bird, so he is gonna get the shield. Great call there by Dark Icy to understand the game situation. But it's unfortunate as the Umbreon is in the back again. Ugh. Fish, why this Umbreon is everywhere.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh, I hate Umbreon.
Oh, no. Okay, so Umbreon is just going to brush this thing aside like Thanos against a puppy.
Against Loki, just holding this rock's little neck in its hand while it just foul plays it all the way down to the ice cold Biofrost that it's supposed to be. Look at the debuff right there. That is super effective foul play. Another Sand Tomb isn't like nothing gonna matter. There is no Galvantula, but the Fairy Wind can come back from that Galarian Weezing, as you see there, and start building up. You think they do a little more after a triple debuffed happened on the defense, but Fairy Wind not doing so much. Last Resort, though, puts that downward pressure down.
You know what would have been good there is the Psychic. That would have been great to have there on the Umbreon, but that's okay. Last Resort taking it almost to the 0. Look at that Overheat coming through. Getting rid of that Skarmory. Nice work to the Weezing. Now, oh no. The Lantern is going to come in, finish off the Runegrigus, and look what Chelsea has in the back. She is not going to have a fun time against this Lantern with the Empoleon.
I don't know, man. That steel typing might reflect some Thunderbolt. Who knows?
Yeah,
oh no!
maybe.
Oh no! I just lied so hard. Oh, Thunderbolt! Oh, I felt the pain from here.
Clear.
That poor Empoleon. Look, I love Empoleon, but that Lantern has been so dominant. We saw it earlier today on Pallet Town be used so greatly on BTW, helping out Miami Doc here. Again, leading with it. Lantern has been just such a great Pokemon, throwing up all of those charge moves, and it's Water Gun now onto this Fairy Winder. And this is great because Play Roughs can just come through for Dark Icy.
Oh, okay, throwing the Overheat.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is a bold strategy. Let's see if this pays off. And now I see that the... Oh, no, she's doing it again. No. She's doing it again. It's the Runegrigus. Don't have Umbreon. Don't have Umbreon, Miami Doc. You benched it. It's on the bench. It's like, Umbreon, you weren't doing anything. We don't need you anymore. We're safe. We're fine. Just don't come into this battle, Umbreon. Was that it?
It was a swap into the Umbreon, and a Snarl came through too. The Lantern got out in time, and a Snarl comes through. The Umbreon is back. It is safest swapped ever for Miami Doc. Dark Icy, it's just unfortunate that you had to deal with this Umbreon tankiness again. There's a team without a counter user, and you can see how that is playing anti against this. These dark type, tanky dark types like Umbreon. Counter is such a great move to have in these battles that to not have it on your team would just put you in such a hurtful position. As we see here, the ghost typing. Like, come on, throw a Shadow Ball, for God's sakes. Just, who cares? Just throw the damn Shadow Ball. You're debuffed. They're not shielding. Just throw the Shadow Ball. forgot. Oh my goodness. Well, the foul play is gonna come and do some damage onto the Galvantula.
And look, it just got so much energy that it's pressuring that Galvantula even more with the foul plays than it can do in return with the double bug moveset of Fury Cutter and Lunge. This is such a crazy good showing. And the Lantern coming in with Water Gun to KO the rest of that Galvantula. Mr. Weasington, it's all up to you.
Mr. Weasington, indeed, good sir. It's up to you and the toppest of your hats. As that's a great call by Miami to throw that Thunderbolt first, because he can just go for the charge moves now and be forced those shields. There's one Pokemon left. Mr. Weezing, good sir. What say you? Play rough. As the water guns are just plowing through. This is the third and final battle of this last matchup. It looks like the Surf is going to be able to come in. Will it be enough? Oh, I apologize. It's the Thunderbolt, and it will be enough. And Miami Doc takes the third battle. We're going to go back to the open as we are going to congratulate now our winners, BTW, for an amazing run. Congratulations, BTW, for a great tournament, and good job to Pallet Town PVP for those wonderful battles. Battle analysts, what did you see?
Umbreon is mean. It's just mean.
What a bully, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I talked about those Taco Bell dollar menu beefy Pokemon, but Umbreon is like, hey. Me, yeah. So Umbreon came out to play. Like definitely some good moves on those Pokemon, and I was surprised to see the water gun Lantern, but it went out there and did its job, and they walked away with the victory with it. So congrats, BTW.
Yeah, for sure. For the sake of drama, you had to hope that the matchups were a little bit better for Dark Ice, but the Umbreon took that Egyptian artifact, sent it back deep within the depths of the pyramids, never to be seen again. Unfortunately, you hate that such polarizing matchups were in the last set. But congratulations to BTW, GG's to everybody involved, and it's been an absolute pleasure seeing how it played out.
It was absolutely a pleasure to watch these battlers. Yes, it was a little polarizing in the end there. It was unfortunate, but Pallet Town putting up the fight up until that fourth matchup, and Lyle's Jeff, 2 sweeps had to come out in order to put up that dominant play. Like, that is what PTW was about. They have great battling community out there as well, and they brought some great battlers there to sweep at the end and take the W. But an amazing show of Pokemon, as we saw. I don't care like how bad that beatdown was. That was an incredible team that Dark Icy had. Like, I'm all for that team. Anybody else, any other player against that matchup with that team, Dark Icy at least takes 2. That was just some good plays there by a good team build by them. It's just unfortunate that Umbreon was in the back.
And like Dark Ice is like, we love having her around in the community because she is so good at making her battles fun. Like she is so fun to watch, and she will occasionally bring some of that spicy stuff and actually make it work as well. And that's even better. Like when she's doing that crazy fun stuff and getting the wins as well, we are all over that. We're like, yes, like go Dark Ice. You show them how it's really done.
That's amazing.
Hands down, best team of the night.
Such a fun time. Well, thank you, analysts, for joining me today. We had KyleThrows, ShadowPrime, and FishOnAHeater. If you guys would like to tell up where you go, where people can find you, Kyle, start with you and let people know where they can find you. I'll put that in the chat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So twitch.tv/KyleThrows. I do my best to stream, 2-3 times a week. As in my name, I'm not going to promise high-level gameplay and smart decision-making, but we'll have a good time regardless.
ShadowPrime, we'll go with you.
Just like Kyle. So I host a podcast with my co-host, Old Johnny One Ball. We like to say we're the best of the below average when it comes to battling. We put out an episode every Thursday, and we got some new bonus stuff that is coming. So you guys be on the lookout for that. That's all I'll say. Just keep your eyes out.
Fish?
Pallet Town PVP. We've got YouTube, Twitch. We're on TikTok. We've got a wonderful Discord community. Check them all out. We're dedicated at creating great education, entertainment, and growth in the Pokemon PvP space.
Yeah, I appreciate all that you do for Pallet Town PvP, Fish. You've been great since you started up, and you're hosting those gym breakers out there too, just keeping the Gym Breaker World Championship alive. Much appreciated. BTW is the winners for the night, and we are so grateful to have them join the channel today and be a part of this Battle Nights. Do check them out. There will be links down below for all of that fun stuff. They are a wonderful community. Their podcasts are great. They have wonderful tournaments. Go and check out their Discord as well. Thank you all for watching tonight. A big shout out to my editor, First Olympian, for all of his wonderful edits, and my artist, Why Not Boy, for all this wonderful time as we have produced a wonderful live Battle Nights for everybody to enjoy. We're gonna go raid somebody now. Who are we gonna raid?